fans of Jane Austen and Bridgerton are going to love TheatreWorks Silicon Valley's newest production of Sense and Sensibility, a charming musical about the Dashwood sisters and their romantic pursuits. Well, here to tell us all about it is Sharon Rietkirk, who plays Elinor. Welcome to Bay Area Focus.
Hi, Amanda. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Well, Sharon, you are all too well familiar with playing roles of Jane Austen's work. So tell us how your experience performing in both Emma and Pride and Prejudice at TheatreWorks has played into your new role as Elinor.
It's been so fun to explore the full canon almost of Jane Austen's works, and I feel so lucky to have mined all of her beautiful, romantic, passionate characters. And it still surprises me how relevant these women written 200 years ago are today.
And in Sense and Sensibility, we have the story of two sisters with very different romantic pursuits, very
Yes.
relatable to women and sisters today. Where does Elinor stand in this storyline?
Eleanor is the practical sister who puts her whole family's well-being above her own personal wishes. And I think she's so admirable and so honorable. And her sister Marianne represents the opposite. She's the sensibility. She's romantic and passionate and lets her whims take her wherever they lead. And I think it's such a beautiful story of two sisters supporting each other despite their differences, especially because of their differences.
And what does this story in particular bring to, of these women, bring to those who come to watch this musical for women of today who are watching the story of these two sisters?
I think it's so beautiful to watch two sisters, two women, a story where they support each other and love each other unconditionally. We can all recognize that in our relationships with our own sisters and friends, mothers, people that we love. It's such a beautiful storytelling experience.
And tell us about working with TheatreWorks founding artistic director Robert Kelly, who actually came out of retirement to direct this show.
He did. It's so good to have him back. He's so familiar with Jane Austen's works, and he's such a beautiful storyteller. He creates these stunning pictures on stage where every moment is beautiful and represents the words on the page in such a specific visual way. I think his work is really gorgeous.
And you originated the role of Eleanor in the world premiere production of this show, but you're not recreating the same performance here. The composer continued to fine tune this work to give you and the other actors new material and songs. Tell us more about this and also bringing Jane Austen's book and story to a musical.
Yeah, it's so fun to watch a production grow from originating the role in Chicago and then a second production in San Diego at the Old Globe and now coming home to TheatreWorks is really special. And to watch Paul's evolution, a new opening, a new song in the second act, which keeps me learning and growing with the production is really, really fun and continues to challenge me as I grow with Eleanor, who's so dear to my heart.
And Sharon, you have a long career behind you, but what does it mean to be back at TheatreWorks like you just mentioned?
I can't even tell you how good it feels to come back to the theater, to be back on the stage after a separation during the pandemic. I think it's going to be electrifying to feel the energy between the actors who are so excited to be back and the audience who I hope is equally as grateful and excited to be back in the theater with us. The energy is something you can't recreate outside of the theater. It's remarkable.
It really is beautiful. And before you go, Sharon, is there anything about Eleanor's character that means something special to you that women might also connect with?
I think Eleanor is, well, her journey in the play shows that even though you can be gentle and put others before yourself, ultimately you have to follow your heart and find the strength and courage to stand up for what you believe in. And it's fun to watch Eleanor come to that conclusion at the end of the play.
I love the fact with Jane Austen's work that it is so relatable to women here in 2022 and on for such old stories. What is it like
Yeah.
to portray these stories to a society of today?
It's really remarkable how poignant they remain. Jane was ahead of her time. She was a feminist and believed that women deserved more and should have more in a world that was really ruled by men. And we continue to work to find our place in society and work to build strong relationships. And she's also so funny and witty. Jane's a crack up. And
Hmm.
this play has some really hilarious moments that I think will take the audience by surprise.
Absolutely. You can get so lost in her work. And thank you so much, Sharon, for your time. And be sure to see Sharon in TheatreWorks Silicon Valley's Sense and Sensibility performing at Lucie Stern Theatre in Palo Alto from March 9th through April 3rd. For tickets and info, go to theatreworks.org.